we're back for another Dokkan battle video. So with our boy Dokkan Fest Captain Ginyu being introduced into the game, there is a new amazing leader skill. Captain Ginyu gives a 170% to Terrifying Conquerors and Planet Namek Saga, which, you know, LR full power freezes on both of those. But then characters that are on either of those, and then also Space Traveling Warriors, get an extra 30% of stats, 200% leader skill. So full power Frieza, one of the best units in the game, and definitely looking like insane, I think, under this 200% leader skill, is basically getting full access. The thing about full power Frieza and a lot of these characters, all of Frieza's partners, friends, best units to make Frieza look good are all on Terrifying Conquerors. Terrifying Conqueror is like, well, as of right now, it's definitely the best villain team now with a 200% leader skill, but it already is very good. So let's do a video. Let's just take a look at what Frieza can do with the 200% leader skill. We'll probably hop into a red zone as well, a red zone stage. I do think full power Frieza probably is going to be performing better than Namek Goku with access to this leader skill for sure, and the higher defense at the start of turn. What I mean is that I think Frieza, one major advantage Frieza has over Namek Goku is that, you know, that's obviously a good comparison to make as Namek Goku since they directly came out together. They have very similar abilities and passives and stuff like that. Frieza typically has a much higher starting defense, right? With Frieza's really powerful links, and then, you know, sort of like support type units that could link very well with Frieza, Frieza's able to be much more powerful than Namek Goku turn 1. That, I think, has really helped Frieza. I think in, like, red zone content, Namek Goku can really get blasted early on. His, you know, defense in the 100Ks just does not cut it. He is able to stack, but typically it's not fast enough. So even though Frieza has more links activated with this Final Form Frieza right here, we're going to look a lot better, as you guys can see. Look at the difference in defense, right? That right there, that's the power of big bad bosses, mainly. You know, remember, it's not about having all these links activated. It really is about having the right links activated, right? So, all right, so this is turn 1, Frieza at 330k defense. A lot of the red zone stages, you are able to ramp up a bit. Certainly, like, Broly, the hardest red zone stage, you can ramp up. You have a little bit of time. The only thing is that Frieza, all right, this is annoying because this is going to debuff us, so we can't see Frieza's true defense next turn, but whatever. 8 million, not the greatest rotation. We did have, what, 60% support on this rotation. We did have, you know, Frieza's most important link activated, of course, big bad bosses. I mean, that's certainly good, right? Like, that level of damage and defense, you know, that's what, like, the LR Super Saiyan 4 easy is. Like, it's very, very, like, similar sort of numbers. Let's get third form Frieza off rotation. Third form Frieza essentially functions as LR full power Frieza's best friend. Remember that okay, when evaluating units' performances, too, especially when talking about, like, a character like full power Frieza, and, like, you've got, like, third form Frieza next to him, I don't think, like, utilizing, like saying, like, oh, like, you know, third form Frieza is giving Frieza all that power. I don't think that's really a good argument when the support type unit is also a ridiculously good unit. Third form Frieza is also one of the best units in the game, right? Able to ramp up his defense very high, able to do a lot of damage as well as supporting and having a good link set for these villain teams, right? Certainly, third form Frieza would be a bit better, I think, if he was an extreme class support type unit instead of just, like, Sworn Enemy. Because Sworn Enemy, unfortunately, it's only the major villains from, like, Dragon Ball Z, and stuff like that, not movies. So, like, you know, some of the main power of some, you know, like Terrifying Conquerors, Cooler, Bojack, Turles, right? Like, these characters are on movies and they're not on Sworn Enemy. So that could create a bit of an issue. Like, you know, if you get turn 1, you have Frieza on rotation with third form Frieza, you're good to go. Bam, no worries, right? But, like, when you're talking about going into an event and, like, you know, you're, like, doing, like, a red zone or something like that, and you have, like, full power Frieza turn 1, then third form Frieza's in, like, turn 2 with, like, a Turles unit and, like, Ginyu or something like that. Like, that's not really going to work the best. That's where third form Frieza could potentially struggle a bit. Now, Ginyu and Frieza don't work well together. Here is the issue with Ginyu, right? Is he's a very bad leader unit. in that, like, he's not supporting the rotation with key or orb changing, and his links suck for the majority of the team. So Ginyu is really a rather poor leader unit. He has an amazing leader skill, but it does suck that they created this unit in such a fashion. Like, in Ginyu's passive, he gives Ginyu Force allies 30% attack and defense. Literally, if they just made it to where he gives all allies 2 key, and then he gives Ginyu Force category allies 30% attack and defense, that would have exponentially made Ginyu a lot better. He would have performed much better as a leader unit. Because a lot of these team builds, you just can't have Ginyu working good with these major units. You can't, right? Like, Ginyu doesn't work well with Bojack, Turles, Full Power Frieza, these characters. He doesn't. It's very unfortunate. Ginyu is one of the best units in the game, but his role as a leader unit, he's not great. That is an unfortunate aspect of him. I want to use Frieza's active skill right here, because we're going to take Frieza into a red zone stage, maybe the Shadow Dragons. I would like to take Frieza into a stage that's going to make him look really good. So I think the Shadow Dragon stage would probably be the best stage to do that. Shadow Dragons are still ridiculously tough. Like, I think the last 3 fights of the red zone stages are all really hard, and is still a good judge of unit performance if you can perform well in any of those 3. But remember, the red zone is all villain units right now. Frieza's better against super class characters, which the red zone is not. So let's go and pop the active skill right here. Now, remember that the weakness of Frieza here is his... Okay, Full Power Frieza and Namek Goku both don't really have good key mechanics. Frieza just gets 2 key at the start of turn, then he builds up some key against superclass enemies, right? So if things are not perfect, Frieza can struggle for key, not hit his 18 key super attack, and then when he's not hitting his 18 key super attack, he's not stacking defense. You know, then remember, he does have a 100% attack and offensive buff for the first 6 turns. If things go well, you can keep that going, right? Like, you'll be just stacking so much, doing so much damage, that, like, you know, when that wears off, Frieza will still have stacked up enough to be stronger. But, you know, again, there are a lot of instances where Frieza's defense and stats are not going to be the craziest. Now, this is a pretty good turn right here, because we've only done, we're on what, turn 5? We've done 1 18 key super attack with Frieza and no 12 key super attacks, right? Yeah, we didn't, the first turn we didn't. Is at 4.54 or at 454k defense. Like, that's good. I think around this number is where you can take double-digit damage from Omega Shenron, I think. Omega's the hardest-hitting boss in the game. It's about, like, 450k-ish, I'm pretty sure right now, to take double digits from his normal attacks. That's good. Now, you know, when it comes to tanking Omega's super attack, you don't have to worry about that because he always supers in the exact same spot every single time Omega supers, it's in the same spot. There's a countdown to it, so you can typically play around it. You can. So, like, Frieza would work well against Omega. Maybe we can even just take him against Omega. Actually, Frieza would be great against Omega because the second form, we could fill up with physical type units, and then the second stage is against STR. I think we will fight Omega in a second. All right, let's go ahead and see what we get. Let's just, you know, keep going. See some of these numbers, some of these stats that Frieza is going to put up. Again, if you are going up against like one feature that actually would probably be pretty good for Dokkan would be like 10. That's good. That's definitely good right there. If there was like a training stage, but I mean like a fighting game training stage, right? So where like there's just like a Goku enemy or something like that, who just has infinite health, right? And it's just like you know, just exit the event when you want to leave. But you could just sort of use that to test things. That would be good, because then you could sort of see like Frieza's full potential. This is an example of Ginyu, his links hurting the team right here. It's this team right here. But if there was just like a training stage with like an infinite enemy sort of like infinite HP sort of enemy, and maybe you could set like where his attacks would be and stuff like that, we could see a character like Frieza's full potential. Because oftentimes, even I mean, in the Shadow Dragon like Omega stage, you know, Frieza will be able to triple super in slot 1, right? And will definitely be able to, like, not kill Omega right away. But, you know, where Frieza and, like, Namek Goku can really look good is if they're able to keep up their consistent stacks for a while. And I just feel like there's a lot of times where that's not going to be as easy as you'd like. All right, so we'll do a couple more turns here. I do want to go into the red zone. I might just do a quick Dokkan event stage. I feel like these 200% videos work well when we can see, like a quick Dokkan event stage. You know, a character like Frieza has to build up, and then we'll go do a red zone run as well to sort of see how Frieza's handling the 200% buffs. This is an amazing turn for Frieza. Did his... I think his passive wore off, didn't it? It did. I think it did, because his defense is lower right here than it was last turn, and this is with extra defensive support from Rildo, right? So, all right, let's just do this right here. So I believe this is Frieza without the extra 100% attack and defense he gets for 6 turns. Also, keep in mind that Frieza does get a guaranteed additional super if he gets hit. So, like, that hit right there gets him the guaranteed additional super attack. That is a powerful mechanic, but in the red zone, it's not always just like, oh my god, Frieza's got, you know, 500k defense, I'm good. 500k defense means you're dead in a lot of these red zone stages in slot 1. Right, so, like, that's another thing about, like, Frieza and, what's his name? Goku. Against Baby, you know, one thing that could be good fighting Baby, though, is that Baby does have an AoE normal. Baby is still hard, even though he's not one of the last couple stages on either side. Baby is still a ridiculously tough opponent, I feel. Every time I've fought Baby, he always has given... a lot of these, like, teams that you guys know, I've got full, you know, Rainbows, Link level 10, stuff like that. Baby put up a hell of a fight, even though he's not one of the last couple stages. So, I do think Frieza's performance on, like, that stage, stuff like that, would matter as well. Before, when I took Frieza and Namek Goku in there, I got destroyed. Frieza now with the 200% leader skill and just the overall power of a 200% leader skill team. Frieza certainly would, I think, perform a lot better against Baby than he did in that video I did previously, right? Okay, so we'll get... I know I might still do a couple of turns. Again, we'll just continue to have Frieza sort of stack up as we're moving through here. And then we'll go... I think fighting Omega would work well. Frieza still... I feel like you could very easily argue Frieza, especially the 200% leader skill, as probably the 3rd best unit in the game behind just the 7th anniversary LR. So I think it's a very, like, good argument that you can make, right? With the 200% leader skill, like the numbers Frieza puts up are pretty crazy. All right, so we're down to 4. See, we're just hanging in this 400k region right here. This is where, like, turn 9. Okay, again, it's like 450k for Omega. So there's a lot of scenarios where Frieza could still be taking damage against Omega, especially if he's, like, not rainbowed and stuff like that. Here, we'll go ahead and let this turn play out. We won't get killed even if Goku super attacks, because of course Goku is a, you know, STR enemy. Let's go ahead and see what happens right here. Remember that Frieza has guaranteed crits against Goku? Currently, some of these abilities, like, oh, you know, fighting super class enemies, fighting extreme class enemies, fighting characters who are Goku, blah, 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 blah. I feel like these types of abilities, how useful they are, can really change on, like, a month-to-month basis, right? Previously to the 7th anniversary, I feel like the God event was probably the hardest event in the game. Probably, right? I think we'd all agree with that. In there, all of the enemies were superclass enemies, which works well for Frieza, right? But keep in mind that now the definitive most difficult fights in the game are against extreme class enemies. So that's why it's always like the game is always changing. It's like a unit could be on top or something like that. And, you know, things can change in one celebration depending upon which characters are introduced into the game, you know, among a lot of other factors. Frieza, you know, took a bit of a hit in his, how, I guess, like, good he is overall, in that, you know, where he was completely dominating the hardest event in the game against the gods. I think he'll still perform well in the red zone, but, you know, he's not going to be at his full power. Because, again, the main thing with Frieza against superclass enemies, he does get an extra 50% attack, which is cool. But he builds ki at the start of each turn up to 3 ki against superclass enemies. That really matters. It does. With LRs, like especially Frieza, who needs to hit his 18 ki to stack defense, ki passives are a huge, important deal. This is why Grade 8 Vegeta can struggle a lot. because Great Ape Vegeta wants to be a floating unit in slot 3 who cannot take damage, but his design is at odds with that, because he has to get hit first to get ki, and he's got to be fighting Goku to get ki. So Great Ape Vegeta just has a shit design, right, which hurts him in that fashion. So Frieza, now we're up to 566k. We're definitely looking good, right? We're at the point now with full power Frieza, too, where I think we could easily tank a super attack from Dragon Fist Goku. I'm not going to hit this Dokkan attack, because otherwise I think Frieza might one-shot Goku right here. I think if I don't hit the Dokkan attack, we'll probably get the additional, which is the stacking attack. So here we're over 10 million. Again, remember that Frieza, right, stacks defense on his 18 ki, and then he's stacking attack on his 12 ki. So, you know, we're able to see him, you know, really get stronger as the event goes on. But if things start out bad for you at the start of an event, you know, Frieza, after the 6th turn passive wears off, he could struggle a little bit. A lot of red zone fights, you know, I think like turn like 10-ish at minimum for like some of these hardest red zone fights. It's very realistic, right? Especially if you're not running the 7th anniversary LRs, who are just actually like 3 times as good as any other unit in the game. I think, like, you know, full power Frieza, I think STR Kaioken Goku, I think UI Goku, I honestly, I think the EZA Super Saiyan 4s, those to me are like the next class of characters behind the gods and the Super Saiyan 4s. I just think they're just so far better than every of these. It's not even close. But like Frieza, again, could be the head of basically all of the non-7th anniversary LRs. And I mean, as you guys will use these characters more and more and more, you understand that it's not like hyperbole to just like talk about them. Like the 2 units are on a pedestal by themselves. They really are. Like they're just so, like, everything they do, the guard, the nullification, the active skills, it's all so crazy. You know, when you take a team of them into the red zone, you could clear it in several turns. But I think with this Terrifying Conquer team, we'll probably go 10 plus turns against Omega. Let's play this turn right here. This is a really good turn. Really good turn for Frieza. What's our defense? Yeah, nice. Goku could Dragon Fist us and we would survive. Because remember, one of the main reasons why every leader skill in the game pretty much sucks right now is because in the red zone, the only event that's like truly difficult, these 130% HP leads don't cut it. I want leader skills to minimum be 170% across the board, which Ginyu is, right? But Ginyu's also got the 200% leader skills. I do think that some of these easy leader skill characters, Tech, Super Saiyan 4, Gogeta, Physical, Omega, are fine at full 170% across the board. And then, of course, like the EZA Dokkan Fest LRs that are 180% are also pretty good. Let's go and play this turn, and then after this, we'll cut, and let's just go right into a fight against Omega. Let's see how Frieza does against Omega. I think Broly is by far and away the hardest fight in the game, but Omega is stronger than Broly, right? That's really good. 300k, that's truly impressive by full power Frieza. This Dragon Fist Goku can still hurt with his super attack. That still does damage. So that's definitely a very impressive display by Frieza to only take 300k. And that's where Frieza on the 200% leader skill helps a lot. Because remember, these great tanking abilities where you could eat a super attack and live is much more of a realistic thing under a 200% leader skill, because we have nearly 600k HP with a lot of TURs on the team, right? So pretty good. All right, let's go over to the red zone now. All right, guys, so we should be able to put in some work with this team. One thing that is very good about this team, right? I think when it comes to like, okay, so like we could see how good like Turles is in here, Cooler, these characters, is these Ginyu units, like Goldo and Raccoon will be tanky in all these red zone stages. Their defense will hold up, but a lot of these characters are all on Space Traveling Warriors, which Jace and Birder support. So Jace and Birder being unit in here will help out a lot. I do want to mention, I could bring this, which would make full power Frieza and all the Ginyu Force units look a lot better, but that is with an item. I don't know, let me know if you guys would like me to like do that, like for this, like 200%, because we could make like Frieza and these Ginyu Force units work even smoother against Omega here, if we are able to do that. This is good. Yeah, wow, okay. Yeah, this is a pretty solid starter right here. Well, did he lock Golden Frieza? No, he didn't. He just sealed him. Oh, that doesn't hurt at all. Well, okay. Actually, oh, boy. Remember when I said this was a good starter? No, it's not. No. I'm gonna use... Would we live? I'm gonna use the Princess Snake. We need the damage reduction here. I don't think we'd live. Like, if Omega... look at this. That's this game. At least we're able to super attack with the second Ginyu. This game, man. Please, I'm asking people, how often in videos do I get this rotation with, like, double lead, like, Ginyus? Like, this is a good team build, right? Like, I'm not gonna listen to anyone say, like, oh my god, their team builds. You get 3 attempts in the red zone per day. And do you guys think it's easy to find a Rainbow Ginyu friend? Like, dude, I'm erect. I saw, oh my god, Rainbow Ginyu, dude. What the fuck, you? And then we hop in, and I get both Ginyus in the same rotation. Omega's not even gonna super. You're not even gonna super, huh? He didn't even super, okay. Sure. Okay, well, please don't steal FRIEZA. No! My god. It is hard. It's not easy to showcase, man. It's not. I don't know what to say. Like, this is the weakness of FRIEZA and display. Like, hey, the good thing for me is I'm always able to show the weakness of FRIEZA. Because now, all of a sudden, it's going to be turn 4 and FRIEZA hasn't done anything yet. Like, there's nothing I can do about this. Like, you know, these red zone fights are designed in such a way a lot of times where it's like, you know, it's true difficulty. Let's see what FRIEZA does. I didn't even check his stats. That's frustrating. Like, are you kidding me? Like, could this run go any worse? And, like, we're gonna die. We're gonna get blown out of here, right? And then there's gonna be just 55% Ginyus on the Princess. Fun. Love this. Like, this is where, like, 3 attempts per day when you get stuck with 2 Ginyus in turn 1, and then the showcase unit gets sealed by this ass fucking bitch in turn 2. It's great, man. It's truly amazing. Third form FRIEZA would be fine. I think we would probably live the super attack at this point. Maybe if he attacked a little bit more. Jason Birder, though. If they eat a super, we might be dead. We might. This Omega still hits pretty hard on super attack, even though he's phase 1. Again, this hasn't really gone good so far. Rotations. I saw... As soon as it started, I saw FRIEZA and third form FRIEZA next to each other. I was like, oh, it's great. Oh, no, this is actually, like, worst possible. The good news for full power FRIEZA, right, is that he has type advantage against Sin. And then Omega at the end. Oh, thank God. Okay. Omega at the end, we know exactly where super attack is going to be. So we'll be fine there. Okay. So now we're set up. Now we're okay. The rest of the run will be okay. Because we've got, you know, Rakumen Goldo and my Ginyu on a rotation. They can't be hurt. They are 100% safe on this turn. We have nothing to worry about, right? It's just a matter of, will third form FRIEZA be super attacked in slot 2 against STR Sin? Besides that, we've won. We've survived until the point where we got set up. He can be stunned? Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I feel like this happened before where I've sealed this guy or some shit, and I was surprised. But apparently this Omega, the way they balance it with how ridiculously OP this guy is with his sealing and locking and bullshit, this slot... Turn 1, it's happened to me many times where he can lock you at slot 1, turn 1, and then insta-kill you, right? Like, that's happened to me a lot against this guy. But they balanced it by making him able to be stunned and shit. Okay. We're only at 300k defense. This is bad. We're way behind the 8 ball on FRIEZA because we weren't able to super attack until turn 4. The good news is that FRIEZA can cook right here and potentially annihilate Omega. Keep in mind that Omega's debuffed by Goldo and Rakumen right here, so we're good. 8.2 is very good, even in here, right? Like, what? No, let me change the way I said that. 8.2 is very good, especially in here, where you're not able to run, like, every single support type unit. Like they're at, like, 200k defense, I can run the support type unit. Like, no, like, they gotta be better than that to run safely and comfortably in here. FRIEZA looked really good right there. That was good. That was good. Now FRIEZA's got a type advantage, too, on this rotation. Again, we're completely good to go now. Yep. We made it past the very spooky, very scary portion of this fight. Even though Omega didn't super attack turn 1, I do like my decision to use that Princess Snake there. because I didn't want to die turn 1, right? Because the Captain Ginyu is with none of their links active, no support, not being able to even stack defense. Omega potentially could have killed us instantly on that first turn without that damage reduction. All right, so again, FRIEZA's got type advantage here. When fighting Omega, who I think is probably the toughest, second hardest boss in the game, because you can't dodge Broly, it just makes him too cheap, and he's got the AoE too cheap. He's just so cheap. But Omega, right, if you build your team around AGL units and physical units, you can cream pie Omega, because of the fact that in the third phase, no unit in the game pretty much can tank the super attack from Omega, right? Like, you have to, like, it's such specific situations where you could actually eat it, right? Like, again, on video, took the Ginyu Force in here, and my Captain Ginyu with 1 million defense died to Omega's super attack. But the thing that's so good about it is it's always in the same spot, so you can play around it, which is really good. I don't think we would. Yeah, we're good. We're fine. Third form Frieza is looking real good right here. Because remember, he's going to be getting a lot of defense when he's super attacking and stuff like that, so we should be good here. Even if Sin super third form Frieza, we're fine. That's a 3 dodge. Yeah, just don't double 3 dodge there, Frieza. Thanks. Thanks, pal. Just don't cuck me, Frieza, please. This video has been hell to record already after the opening of this run. But I guess, if anything, this is really good because this shows do I want to say comeback ability of the Ginyu team and full power Frieza and stuff like that? We don't really take damage, but it was just, we were able to skate through those first 2 really bad turns. Is this still against Frieza? We're fine. That's really good. Maybe some of you guys will see him take 130k. I'm telling y'all, that is jaw-dropping tanking by full power Frieza right there. 130k in here against Omega? That's good. That Frieza's looking really good here. Like, again, like, AGL Super Vegito is probably one of the better units in the game for the Omega stage because of this second phase against Sin. You want to load up on physical type units for the final phase, but then this guy is like the gatekeeper to getting to that final phase, so can be very, very scary. We're completely good to do whatever on this turn. Oh, look at the difference in links. Yeah, look at that. That's the power of link leveling right there. My Ginyu versus the friend Ginyu. Because they're not link level 10s. My Ginyu is link level 10. Look at the difference. That's a good display of the power of link leveling, honestly. Make sure to link level your characters you're going to be using for the red zone. If you're a global player, again, link leveling is not really, like, fun content. I think if Dokkan releases a shitty celebration and you'd say, well, you could always link level for the like, yeah, that's not, like, great content. But when it comes to, like, the red zone and stuff like that, you really should link level the characters you're going to be using. I think it's, with auto in the game and version Z, it's very easy to link level your favorite characters and your favorite team. I think it does not, dude, you could do, it's full auto. You go to stage 8, 9, a couple times a day. If you're a global player, you could easily have a team of full level 10 links by the anniversary. Just doing 8, 9 a couple times a day, right? Easily. Telling you. Auto really helps make link leveling much less tedious, much less of a chore, right? When you have to manually fight all these Cybermen and Frieza soldiers and all these shitty enemies, to just be hitting every fight and every link level and blah, 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 blah. Not really so much of a big deal. Now, all right, are we cocked right here? No, we're good. We're going to have either... Who are we going to have against Omega super attack? Because Omega, he always super attacks at the end of his second turn. Wow, it's so good. AGL Golden Frieza is going to be able to tank it. What is Frieza's defense? Ooh, not good enough, unfortunately. Let's see how we do right here. Do this. Frieza's not going to be double-digit tanking right here. I think he might be taking 50k per normal. This is, again, we got sealed. If we didn't get sealed at the start, we'd have been looking better. Yeah. Again, it's like 450k. Oh, this is bad, dude. If we fall below 40%, yeah, actually, I think we're just dead. Damn it. We lost because of the fact that Frieza got sealed in turn 2, right? So he wasn't able to get that defensive stack. Now he's up to double digits after another stack, but man, I mean, again, that shows you 450k defense. So, because Surfform Freeze is not taking double digits with one super, dude, thank you so much. Right? Like, if he would have, like, triple supered, we would have been fine right there. I think we're just outright dead. Full power, like, if things go your way, full power Frieza could certainly work. If you're, like, a global player, and, like, remember, Ginyu's gonna come out before the anniversary on global. If you're a global player, and you're like, oh my god, like, I just want to get the Ginyu team, Terrifying Conqueror's my favorite, blah, 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 blah. Sure, and, you know, you could do, like, almost this exact same team build I did, but then you bring the Frieza Planet Namek Saga support memory, and, you know, that, again, with all these Planet Namek Saga units we have here, the only unit that wasn't Planet Namek Saga was Golden Frieza, right? So, like, all these units would have, that extra 15% actually would make a huge difference in here. So I think Full Power Frieza performed well. I think arguing Full Power Frieza as the third best unit in the game currently is very easy to do. I don't know that I would really argue it too much. I mean, Kaioken Goku is just, he's so powerful so easily. UI Goku with a 70% chance to dodge is still just so good, along with everything else he does in his kit. Who else is on this level? I think LR, EZA Super Saiyan 4s, for sure. Oh, God, yeah. Are they definitely this level of power. Frieza looks good. We kind of got cucked in here. That, like, we're able to display a little bit, like, Frieza's deficiencies, but very easy. Like, I'm the unluckiest Dokkan player of all time. We all know this, right? Like, a normal luck player would not have Full Power Frieza sealed, and then, you know, you're not taking, you know, 50k per normal once you get to Omega at the end, right? And we know it is about 450k defense needed to tank Omega at the end right there. We had a perfect setup, literally, if we didn't just get sealed in slot 2. But overall, I'd say Frieza looked very impressive to me. Very, very powerful unit. You do just have to make sure you're keeping those stacks up for him. It's important when using Full Power Frieza to have a team that works well for key for him. You could potentially run him as like a floater and stuff like that, as long as you're always hitting his 18 key super attack. That is an area where he struggles in the similar fashion as Grade 8 Vegeta has got the same problem, right? Where he's got to hit 18 key, but it can be difficult at times, right? So, let me know what you guys think of Full Power Frieza on a 200% leader skill. I think this guy looked really good, honestly. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll catch y'all next time.